What's going on, guys? We are officially on our way to GhoulieCon. We are very, very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
You excited, Chloe?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing some panels while we're down there. We're going to be doing maybe some game shows. We're also, Ashley's going to be doing a runway show. We're going to have all that for you guys. Hope you have a good time. We'll talk to you guys here in a little bit. So we have arrived at GhoulieCon. They're getting ready to start the opening ceremonies, and we're going to go in here and check it out. I hope you guys enjoy this.
We are the first official GhoulieCon 2024. So I am very excited and very thankful for all of you that came out today. We have studios in the back. We have Sledgehammer, a horror. We have so many just amazing people and amazing vendors. So definitely go down, check them all out. Amazing. But what I'm really excited about
we raise yo, go play ho, cause I'm a deranged bro that'll cut you in half and cover you with a payload. And just to watch yourself suck, I'll give you some airflow. I'm 6 feet in the ground, cause that is where they go. Cause they keep telling me to bring it, then I go and I grow. Rebel clown up in here, I'm not to be played, yo. The place I'm about to go is so evil, the wicked, that most people never know until I run up and hit a straight to the Alright, let's go ahead and kick this off. What is our first category for me, Justin?
The thing?
I mean, we got Alien, let's do Predator. Man, no, I
Predator was our class too, so if that's not on there, no Predator. We're playing Family Feud, everybody see? Okay.
do we collectively just want to see what we have? I think
We want, real quick, we want to try
What's number 3?
if it's the lipstick face demon from Insidious. Let's see what number 3 is.
Jason.
Gee, I'm so disappointed. Freddy is number 1. I'm going to lose my shit. I swear to God, if Freddy's number 1, I'm going to lose my shit.
I said Freddy.
Freddy Krueger.
Show me Freddy Krueger.
Son of a bitch! Okay, I said Michael Myers, guys, and it was not on that list. This is Ashley's fault. Her influence on me.
I said Freddy.
We're on the channel right now, guys. Everybody say hello.
What are we doing, guys?
First and foremost, let's give it up to all these ladies up here on the panel. Where horror is important is you always hear the serial killer say you don't remember the victims, you remember the killer. That's not true. We remember Laurie Strode, we remember Nancy, we remember all these, Sydney, we remember them because of how important they are in the horror community and how horror was built on women kicking the shit out of men. That's what horror was built on. You had these men that went around trying to kill at a campground or in your dreams or in a shitty Haddonfield town, but the women always came out on top. So let's start with you, Joanna, since this is your gig. What does it mean for you to be a female in the horror community?
I think it means to me to just bring that badassness that final girls bring. what a final girl means to me, tenacity. Unapologetically being yourself. And that's what a woman in horror means to me.
And it's really true. You talk about being a badass, and a lot of times women get gatekept for being horror fans. You know, for some reason, it's still considered a construction job, and it's a man's world. And it's really sad when you find out that you have a female horror fan, and the first thing they want to know is what happened 16 minutes and 38 seconds into the first Psycho film. And if you're a real horror fan, you will know that. So, Gigi, can you introduce yourself? Tell people a little bit about who you are and what it means to be a female creator Q.
A female horror creator, that was the question? Yes. I think it's just, like you said, it's bringing that, like, I'm that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it's about. Like, I am that final girl. I know my shit. I love this genre. I know just as much as you. And I want to share it with the world.
The power of that statement, I know just as much as you and I want to share that with the world, is such a huge thing that everybody could learn from. You know, we don't have to be ashamed because we love horror movies, but we're the sweetest people in the world. So let's right down the line and talk about what it means to be a female horror creator and what horror means to you.
I'm Sydney. I go by Horror Chronicles on TikTok and all that good stuff. Being a horror fan to me, as a woman, I guess it can be summed up by the fact that I one time was told by a man on TikTok, never trust a woman's opinion in horror. To which I can respond, that's so weird because over 500,000 people do. How many do you have?
I don't know how much these cost.
He never said that to me again. So, I mean, it's kind of just like Gigi said, like, I'm that bitch. Like, I know more than you, to be honest. Like, I know more, I watch more horror movies in a year than you've watched in your entire little miserable, pathetic life. You sad soul. Like, we know more than you. It's just, women run horror. Sorry, it's just the truth.
I'm having so much fun and I'm so unapologetically afraid right now. Just for being a man right now. So I respect every one of you and I think you do a fantastic job.
That's great. That's a hard act to follow, but I think for me specifically, I never got a chance to be seen as a horror fan growing up. I didn't fit the idea of a typical horror fan, not only as a woman, but a plus-size woman. And doing horror crap was kind of my love letter to this is what has helped me survive life. This is what I want people to see. And we get so misaligned in the fact that people think that the horror genre is just this one thing, that it can't relate to death and there aren't deeper things, and I think that that's crap. And I too have also been told to stay in my lane, which my response has been, I haven't been staying in my lane and we've been doing fantastic. So, but I also think motherhood is a big part of it too. You can be a mom, you can be a spooky mom, you can be a badass horror mom, and still be a good mom. And I think that's important too, so.
One thing I want to add to that is I think a lot of us grew up weird, didn't have a lot of friends maybe, or were considered weird when we were growing up because we loved horror. Another thing very important to understand that you have a very good community here that loves you for who you are, and we appreciate you for who you are, and we are glad that you are here in all of your glory. So thank you.
To me, being a woman in horror, well, horror has always been my comfort, the thing that helps me get through a lot of difficult things in life. I never was really allowed to super be in horror like when I was younger. My mom always said, well, that's not ladylike. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. But this is who I am, and I love sharing that with the world. I love showing my kids that you can be who you want to be, and like, there's a community out there that will love you regardless.
And it's fine to live vicariously through horror. You know, we all do that. And it's funny when you meet the people that say, oh my God, you love horror. like you're gonna rip their throat out because you love it. And then you meet these people, and they are the nicest, sweetest, kindest people you could ever hope to interact with. So thank you all as well for coming out and being a part of this. What about you, strange lady? What's horror mean to you?
Really?
Hello. I am the other half of Sledgehammer Horror.
Oh!
And for me, a lot of times I don't get recognized because I'm more of an introvert in our relationship. I work with people like behind the scenes, I guess. But my knowledge for horror has always been there, and I don't want to just be a final girl. Like I can be a villain too because girls can be kick ass no matter what you do. You don't have to kick the villain's ass. You can be the villain that goes after the men. So yeah.
And kick the ass.
Sometimes it's okay to go both ways. Jennifer's body, yeah. Horror reading right now.
With a creasing screen right in my ear. They were even showing up in my dreams. And I remember sitting in my living room in a dream, and our Bose speaker system started cycling through radio stations super quickly.
Hey guys, we're on day 2 of GhoulieCon. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, so we're super excited.
Hope you guys have a great time watching. I know we're going to have a great time doing it. Let's get to day 2. What is up, guys? So this is our first interview of the day. I'm here with Evan. Evan, can you tell the people a little bit about what you do?
So my name's Evan Lace. I am based in Cincinnati, Ohio right now. I'm a acrylic pop artist, or you can call it psychedelic pop art. I have my own unique style that I guess you could say is differential towards other artists. And, you know, I paint with feeling. I paint with passion. Art's a form of therapy. It's cheaper than therapy, or maybe not so much. Art supplies cost money. But, you know, it's a really great way to take the load off. And, you know, it's something I love to do, and I hope I can change the world with it and, you know, do it for the rest of my life.
And I can tell you, his original arts are amazing. The System of a Down one was my absolute favorite. So we do love horror, obviously. So do you remember what your first horror movie was?
If I can remember correctly, I think going back to when I was like 5 or 6 years old, something like that. It was either Signs or The Sixth Sense. And didn't really like remember it too vividly at the time. I just remembered being a little creeped out, you know, didn't know what was going on, asked my mom what I was watching. But no, those are probably the two that I remember being the first, you know, horror films I consciously watched as a little kid.
Great start, 2 great films by a great director. So where can people find you online to check out your art?
If they want to check out my art online, Instagram at Lace Creations, LACECREATIONZ. You can find me on Facebook. Art by Lace Creations is my business page. I have a profile on what I would call a virtual art gallery website called artlikes.com. You can find me on there. And I'm also on Threads at Lace Creations. So those are my socials if you want to look me up.
All right, guys, so you heard it here first. Make sure you're checking that out. We'll be back here in a little bit.
Hey guys, I am here with Allie and Sky from Bone and Brian. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's a little warm for my taste.
So do you guys want to tell me a little bit about your shop?
Well, we try and sell foraged and pre-loved occult items. So anything that's already been used once or that we find on our own, that's what we're about.
Awesome. And they have this really cool setup here. All right, so we'll start with you, Allie. What was your first horror movie? Do you remember it?
I do. It was Arachnophobia.
Okay.
It was horrifying
Yes,
at 6 years old,
I
but
bet.
it's still one of my favorites to this day.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't have a fear of spiders, at least.
Yeah, maybe that just like kicked it out for you. You watch that young and you're like, they're fine. How about you, Sky? What was yours?
I don't remember my first, but my favorite horror-ish themed is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
Because I love theater. I love Tim Curry with all of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down.
Yes, that's awesome. And can you tell everybody where we can find your shop?
At facebook.com/Bone and Brian.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
What is up, guys? I am now here with Tracy. Tracy, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing very well. So can you tell people a little bit about what you do?
I am by day, I work at a cat shelter, and by night, I am a graphic designer, and I do t-shirts, all with very spooky, witchy vibes, because, that's my thing. So yeah, come check out my stuff.
She is definitely not a basic witch. She is a spooky witch. So make sure you're checking her stuff out. But
Cat witch.
spooky cat witch. I will take it. So do you remember what your first horror movie was?
Ooh, I don't know if this counts as horror necessarily, but I remember the trailers for Jurassic Park started dropping when I was 10 years old, and I begged my parents to let me read the book, and my mom definitely marked off the spots like with a paperclip that were too spooky for me, but I read them anyway, and then I made them let me see the movie when it came out, and then it kind of all went from there. Hitchcock and Stephen King and
Everybody at Sledgehammer Horror knows the Hammerheads. They know that Jurassic Park is absolutely a horror movie. So can you tell everybody where they can find your creations at?
I am on Etsy currently, Demon Cat Studio.
Make sure you guys are checking it out. It's wonderful stuff. You saw a little bit of it in the video we did before. So thank you so much for your time, Tracy. I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys. So this event is hosted by the beautiful Joanna of Covenant Screams. But right now I'm joined by Rick, Father of Screams. We are here, Father of Covenant Screams right here. This is Rick. Rick, how you doing today?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for all your help putting this event on and doing what you're doing. Now, we're always talking to people about the first horror movie they watched and what it meant to them. So do you remember what your first horror movie was?
Absolutely. The Exorcist. I have so many good memories from it. I'll take over.
You're good.
I've never been to a movie with my mother and father except for this movie. Back in 1972, 73, I was the youngest of four, and all my brothers and sisters that went and seen it talked about people passing out the theaters, leaving the lines. So I had to see it. They finally took me to see it. I loved it. Fell in love with Reagan before she got possessed and then after. But during some of the gnarliest scenes, my dad would get up and go to the bathroom. He continuously did that to the point where I'm going, my dad doesn't like scary movies. So every time it got scary, he split. So to me, that was the biggest thing. My dad came down to a real person, and I fell in love with scary movies.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad, you realize, is not a superhuman after all.
I did not know that until that day.
All right, man, I really appreciate you coming out. Again, thank you so much for what you're doing. It's an honor to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, now we're interviewing to try to get people into the NBA. I'm here with Nick and Yurdi of the Toxic Icon podcast. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. What's going on, man?
So happy to be here. What about you, Yurdi?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good. I feel honored to be on your podcast.
Dude, this is an honor for us. So, as always, we like to talk about the first horror movie people watch. So, do you remember what the first horror movie you watched was?
Original Pet Cemetery.
Ooh. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
I don't want to be buried either.
I'll tell you that. Well, what about you, Yurdi? Where to start for you?
The first horror movie that I watched, People Under the Stairs.
My wife's absolute favorite movie. So you got to love it. So where can people find you guys online?
You can find us on all platforms at Toxic Icon Pod, all one word, and then on Facebook, Toxic Icon Podcast.
All right. And how long has the podcast been going on for?
So we are actually just a few weeks past a year.
Congratulations, you guys. So make sure you're following them. Make sure you're subscribing to the podcast, giving them a 5-star review, leaving a comment. It helps to push them out into that tricky algorithm. So thank you guys for your time. We'll catch up here in a little bit.
Let's do it.
I'm here to save the city. Where are they? You're going down. I'm not the hero possibly, but I'm the one that they deserve. Scream to their knees, justice, not vengeance, it's us. I'm no one of self to me. I am the dark side of you. Screaming that you are a team. I know all that you can speak. You're a Cali hustle, and then right up to the MIC.
She's great. Everyone loves her. And you should buy her merch. It's wonderful. You should listen to her podcast. Follow her on TikTok. She's the best. I already hyped her up at the coffee shop.
Cassie, what's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie right now. Let's start with that one. Ready or Not.
Ready or Not?
It's my comfort movie right now. I've been watching a lot, so it's been great to listen through. So
A classic, really.
it is a classic.
It's a classic.
It is, yeah. I think it's really fun.
What's the movie that's traumatized you the most?
A Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Sixth Sense really got me.
Relive your trauma right now.
When I was a kid, I was at a sleepover with my friend Lauren, and I had to call my dad to pick me up because I got so scared.
My name is Chloe, and I'm from Michigan.
Chloe, what's your favorite scary movie?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Chucky and Annabelle.
Classic. Yes. Classic. Do you like Annabelle or Annabelle Creation better? Anything with Annabelle? Creation. Creation's the way to go. Creation actually is one of the movies like in recent years that actually scared me. That's a good one. What movie scared you the most? The old one or the new one?
The old one. I didn't even see the whole movie. I saw a clip of it with the boy with the yellow jacket, and I was convinced that dude was gonna come up and kill me.
Yeah. That was enough. That was enough.
I don't know how old I was. Like I was like, I don't know.
Young enough. Young enough. And now it scares you for your whole life, and that's it. I love it.
I've never actually watched the whole movie, but I want to.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, one day. Your parents seem pretty cool, so I think they'll be able to handle it. Thanks, Chloe.
My name's Kenley Sledge.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Chucky.
What movie scared you the most?
Ghostface.
Which?
Ghostface.
Oh, Ghostface. Ghostface is pretty scary. Ghostface is pretty scary. How about Megan? You want to talk about Megan?
Sure.
I heard that you were dressed up as Megan before. Are you going to dress up as Megan again?
Mm-hmm.
I think you would make a great Megan.
Okay.
A scary What's your name? Where are you from?
I am Ken. I am from Michigan as well.
Woohoo!
Nobody ever cheers when they hear Michigan. They're like, oh, cool. You're from a hand. That's awesome.
It's okay. I'm from Rhode Island and nobody even knows like what or where that is. Relatable. What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie is House, 1985-86. That is my first, my favorite, my obsession.
Wow, that is like an unusual answer. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that House is their favorite scary movie.
That's unfortunate.
What movie traumatized you most?
It's weird. I kind of have like a three-part answer to this.
Perfect.
The one that like really got me as a kid, the first time I saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the large march scene, like I genuinely cried when I saw that. Yeah, Tim Burton's best film. Fight me. The second one, and this sounds funny, I know, but Child's Play 2, when the technician gets that eyeballs put into his head. Again, I saw this very young, and I had nightmares for weeks of a guy with doll eyes chasing me.
That's horrific.
And yeah, absolutely. But the one that I think is the scariest moment I've ever seen in any horror movie, and I love to talk about it. I'm not going to get too deep just in case anybody hasn't seen the movie, because you need to watch it unspoiled. It's 1995's Tales from the Hood.
And the twist.
The ending of Tales from the Hood, as a kid who also grew up religious, I was just like, what? Like, when you get this is not a funeral home, it's not the Terror Dome either. When you get that moment and then the clothes ripping and the realization of what's happening genuinely rocked me as a kid, and it still to this day gives me goosebumps just to think about that movie and how they were able to capture that lighting in a bottle of just pure terror at the end of that movie.
And that's one of those movies where like you watch it back and you're like, wow, this was so glaringly obvious. Like, how did I not pick up on it the first time? But like, so shook.
And I think the sad part about that movie is 20 years later, it's still just as relevant with its social message when it shouldn't be relevant anymore. We should watch this like it's from the Stone Age. But unfortunately,
Jordan Peele doing a modern version of that?
yeah, and when you watch a movie like this, it makes you even more angry to hear certain terms they use on horror movies today. You know, when horror has had a message socially since 1940. So that's what horror is, taking what's scary in real life and putting it fiction. So the fact, if you guys have not seen Tales from the Hood 1995, please do yourself a favor and go watch this movie tonight. You will not regret it. It is an amazing, amazing anthology film.
Love it. Thank you.
My name's Ashley, and I'm also from Michigan. What's your favorite scary movie? My favorite scary movie is Mommy and Daddy scared me so bad when I was a kid, and even the kids over the stairs, like when I was a child, and like they were really close to, but the way they looked terrifying.
Yeah. Fool is such an underrated and incredible fun boy.
This is what they make screaming. They have to have like
Yes.
Mommy and Daddy.
Mommy and Daddy, because there's that like, they never like really mention it, but there's that like incestuous like underlying message behind it too, and it just makes you feel so like dirty and gross, and they're also just so evil and wicked on the surface. It's awful. Yeah. Wow, that's great. All right, Kate. What's traumatizing you most?
So thinking back, it has to be the way when I remember watching it with my dad, and I was I was terrified. Just when she like her face and like
In the closet, yes.
it scared me and her coming out the blackness.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, that face in the closet like sticks with you forever. I watched that movie when I was 7, and I still just like it'll just like intrusively enter my brain. Like, why is this happening to me? And it's like a split second.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I'm sleeping up here. So I was like the only one that was scared. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't me.
Yeah, absolutely not. Thank you.
We're going to be talking about independent filmmaking, the trials and tribulations that come along with independent filmmaking. It's very hard to create a film, whether you have a $1 million budget or a $1,000 budget. It's very, very hard to put that piece of art out there for the world. Sometimes we see movies we don't like, sometimes we see movies we love, but either way we know they were made with passion and most of the time for the right reasons. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today, all the things that go into filmmaking, especially when you're in the independent world, because it's a lot harder to do it when you have $500 to make your dreams come true. So we're going to start with Toothbrain real quick. Can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
All right, I haven't done these in a while. So my name is James Wadgen. Collectively, we are Toothbrain Productions. We're from southern Indiana, a little hole in the middle of nowhere. It was the first capital of Indiana. It was the first city of Indiana. So, we have one film called Shoes that's on Trauma now. We have another film called The D Word, which stars this guy right here next to me. Just got picked up by Bloody Disgusting's Bloody Bites. And then we've got one more film in production called The Restless Few. So that's me at least.
My name is Chester Qualkenbush, and I help him make movies. He tells me what to do, and I say words of hero for me.
All right, guys, I am now here with Ryan. Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I'm T.R. Mullins. Officially, it's my pet name. I write books, fantasy books, horror books.
And what got you started in doing that?
I've always been a storyteller. It took me a little longer than I would have liked to have figured it out. But I had my first child, and I realized I needed to choose a direction in life. And I figured out that I was a storyteller. I had to write books, so here I am.
Well, where can people find you online to be able to read your stuff?
I'm working on a website. Currently, the only thing I've set up is Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's the Dracorian Legacy.
And we always ask on the podcast, what was the very first horror movie that you ever watched?
The very first horror movie I ever watched that really left an impression on me was Alien, the original Alien.
What? And I'm glad that you classify that as horror, because I've heard people say it's sci-fi and not horror. Give me a break. Alien is horror. So make sure you guys are checking out the Facebook page. You can check out some of his stuff coming up soon. All right, guys, so GhoulieCon is officially over. We had an amazing time. What did you think, Mom?
We had a great time. We met a lot of people that we've been wanting to see in person. We had a lot of fun, and so we're wrapping up and getting ready to head back to Michigan.
And next year's going to be even better. What did you think, Sissy?
It was really fun.
What was your favorite part?
I don't know.
All of it was pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you guys are checking out your local cons, support your local vendors, support independent film, and until next time, guys, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye. Bye.